But for the moment, I felt the need to tackle a particular subject that raised some angst, to say the least, particularly in conservative circles. Andra Day and her fabulous self sang what is widely recognized as the Black National Anthem during Super Bowl Sunday, Lift Every Voice and Sing. For those of you who don't know too much about that song, I mean, I've been singing it since I was in grade school. Unlike Trump and others, I know it by heart. And one of the reasons you sang it, because it was a song that became an anthem during the darkest years of the civil rights movement. I'm sure y'all heard about the civil rights movement, right? You know, when black people all over were fighting for civil rights and equality in this country, where people were being hosed down, had dogs sicked on them, were being beaten with batons and were thrown and incarcerated, in some cases murdered, maimed, etc., simply because we were human beings that thought that we should have the rights and equal rights of every citizen in the United States of America. You remember that? Remember what that movement was about? That's, in its darkest hours, was when it became the national anthem for black people. Well, lo and behold, it was sang at the Super Bowl last night in Las Vegas, Nevada, by the great Andra Day. And there were numerous people who took umbrage with that. Putting on my glasses again because I want to make sure I read stuff accurately. Kari Lake, remember her? The Trump-backed Republican out of Arizona. Y'all remember who she is? She declined to stand for the quote-unquote Black National Anthem. Colorado's GOP rep Lauren Boebert tweeted her objections, stating, quote, "America only has one national anthem. Why is the NFL trying to divide us by playing multiple? Do football, not wokeness." Okay? But of course, then there was Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is a very popular podcaster who used to work at Fox News. She's a former Fox News host. I've had the pleasure of meeting her on several occasions. She said, quote, tweeted, quote, "The Black National Anthem does not belong at the Super Bowl. We already have a national anthem and it includes everyone." That's what she said. And of course she has her supporters, because there were plenty of people who spoke up on her behalf. And obviously, Kari Lake was one of them. Boebert was another, along with several others, because they felt that the Black National Anthem was, quote, "a manufactured push for segregation." You see, before I say anything else, let me first say, I'm sick and tired of folks out there, particularly in the black community, being so quick to throw out the word racism. When you throw out the word racism, do me a favor. Have more evidence before you do it so it can't be dismissed via plausible deniability or something else. I don't know Megyn Kelly at all. Okay? I don't find her statement to be racist. I find it to be, in her eyes, patriotic. I find it to be, in her eyes, self-righteous. I find her to be a bit detached from reality being faced by black Americans everywhere. I got that part. But I can't go in the way that I wanted to go in about her when people are out there from my community just throwing out the word racist. You don't know that about her. You don't know that about her. And when you say something like that, you dilute the potency and the importance of the argument. I'm going to say something that's very unpopular, but it factually needs to be addressed. I don't expect white people to have the sensibilities of black people. I don't expect somebody white to get it. about black people the way I expect black people to get it about black people. I may not like it. Megyn Kelly, if you're watching, you're listening, I don't like what you said at all. I think it comes across as highly insensitive. You cannot take into account history. You cannot acknowledge, because you are a historian. I've heard you. I've watched you. I've listened to you. Profound respect for you. I've even listened to your interview, your lengthy interview with my former colleague at ESPN, Sage Steele, who a lot of people don't like, but I respect and I like, because I've known Sage Steele for nearly 30 years. It doesn't mean I agree with everything she says. I certainly don't agree with all of her politics, but I've known her for years and I respect her. What I'm saying to you, however, Megyn Kelly, I'm only bringing up her name to let you know I've listened to you on many occasions. We run across each other during my visits at Fox News in the past. And respect is obviously something you should require because your body of work is that significant. I get it. But you ain't black. You haven't been marginalized and ostracized and treated in the manner that black people have been treated. Now, as a woman, you have certainly had your challenges. Last time I checked, the person who gave you the most grief about being a woman was the former president of the United States, who's the front runner for the GOP nomination. He's the one that was very disrespectful to you, very dismissive, brought up stuff that I'm not about to repeat over these waves, these digital airwaves. I'm not going to do that, but you know it. He was very insulting, very demeaning, marginalizing, all of this stuff, very degrading. That was a GOP candidate. I love how all of these GOP folks jump to one another's defense, but you're going to negate who was the most insulting to you. But I digress. My point is as a woman, I am certainly not qualified to speak to your plight and your challenges and the manner of things that you've had to overcome. Although you are a white woman, and everybody knows when you talk about stuff like affirmative action, the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action have been white women. Not that that qualifies with you. I'm just saying, I'm using that point to highlight no matter what it is that you've been through, I'm willing to bet it's nothing compared to what black people have gone through. So all I'm saying is, if you ain't black, you may not understand. And if you don't understand, why not be neutral? If you don't understand, why not listen to the Black National Anthem and then listen to the National Anthem? Why not just do that and call it a day? Why do we have to get our antennas up and get agitated and all of this other stuff because we're hearing something that we're not accustomed to hearing and we didn't want to hear? Why do that? Why, Megyn Kelly? Why? You are not black. You haven't been profiled like black people have. You haven't been demeaned and denigrated to the degree that black people have been. You haven't been enslaved like black people were. You haven't had your rights denied to you as black people have. Historically, you know this. So why not just sit up there and say, hey, I understand where they're coming from? Why not? We talk about all of us coming together. You know why we can't come together? Because the first order of business in order to come together is for somebody to know that you understand where they're coming from. Where they're coming from. Last time I checked, Megyn Kelly was married. I don't know what her status is now. I hope you're happily married and all of that other stuff. Wish you and your family nothing but the greatest. God bless you all. But hypothetically speaking, no knowledge of your relationships or anything like that. If you are with someone and you decide that, hey, you know what? How is this going to work? People talk about compromise. They talk about communication. You know what comes along with compromising and communication? Understanding. Even if we disagree. I understand exactly where you're coming from. You understand where I'm coming from. We've reached an accord or we've agreed to disagree and we move forward. As opposed to summarily dismissing a point you can't possibly comprehend. Would you rather us play all the verses of America's national anthem? To give detailed syllable by syllable of what was uttered and echoed in the complete song, as opposed to the iteration we all sing before games? Do you want us to get into that? To crystallize for you why we felt the need to have our own national anthem? You want to go there? You sure? I don't think you would. So to Representative Bo Bart and Carrie Lake, and to you too, Megyn Kelly, again, who I have profound respect for in terms of your body of work. I don't know you. I just know what you've been as a journalist, and I respect the hell out of you. I respectfully say to you, could you do one or two things? Could you have a more thorough understanding of Black history, what provoked the existence of the Black national anthem, and speak to that reality, or simply stomach it? Because let me tell you something about Black people all over this world. The one thing you cannot accuse us of as a people in America or anywhere in this stratosphere, you can't accuse of us of an inability to stomach stuff. We've stomached a lot. Can't y'all?